Whatever goes to theory, it goes to metaphysics and epistemology. And logic is clear because logic is the rules of thinking. We explained before that logic is rules of thinking. Whoever wants to think in philosophy, whatever, needs logic. So logic is a part of philosophy. Now we go to historical development, which is very important. How inside Islamic history the philosophy developed. I didn't mention here the development of Western philosophy because it takes a long story and we don't have enough time. I just mentioned development inside Islamic philosophy and Islamic history. So if you are interested to know more about historical development for philosophy itself before Islam, there are some sources, you can find them. But here I just mentioned the development of Islamic philosophy inside and within the history of Islamic civilization. Yes?
You said metaphysics and epistemology are categorized under theoretical philosophy and practical philosophy is ethics. Logic falls under both categories?
Good question. Actually, logic in one meaning is not part of under this categorization. Logic is like some rules, some framework for philosophy. So some philosophers and some scholars say logic is not part of philosophy because it's a framework, چارچوبه. It is a rules for philosophy. But some other scholars say no, even it is a rules, but it should be under philosophy. So in this case, we can say in both theoretical and practical philosophy, we have logic. So logic comes in both sides. We need logic for ethics. We need logic for epistemology. We need logic for metaphysics. So we need logic for all these things. Yes, you continue because you raised a very good question. So continue historical development.
Historical development. The beginnings of the Islamic philosophical school coincide with the first translations of the works of the Greek masters into Arabic from Syriac and Greek. The Caliph al-Ma'mun founded in Baghdad the Bayt al-Hikmah, the House of Wisdom, in 217, which served as an observatory and, more importantly, a library and center for the translation of Greek texts into Arabic. Many of the translators were Christians who translated texts from Greek into Syriac and then into Arabic. The Muslim scholars were interested primarily in the Aristotelian logic and Greek philosophy as a prelude to the study of theological texts. The first genuine philosopher to write in Arabic was Al-Kindi, 866 AD, who tended to argue that philosophy helps the Muslim to understand the truth using different techniques from those already directly provided through Islam. The philosophy that was transmitted into Arabic at this time was profoundly Neoplatonic. Generally speaking, Greek philosophy was the major formative influence on the later philosophical traditions of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. In all three, the theories of the Greeks, particularly Plato and Aristotle, were employed to clarify and develop the basic beliefs of the religious traditions. In the Islamic tradition, the starting point was the work of Plato and Aristotle. However, the 9th century Neoplatonic Al-Kindi was followed by Al-Farabi, 950 AD, who drew on both Plato and Aristotle to create a universal Islamic philosophy. In addition to the influence of the many translations of Greek texts, there was also an important transmission of Indian and Persian literature into Arabic, which undoubtedly had an influence on the development of Islamic philosophy.
Very good. We escape from influential sources, but you see, when we have Al-Kindi 866 and then Al-Farabi 950 and then we have Ibn Sina. Ibn Sina is 1 1037. If we want to know the historical development of philosophy, these three names are very important, because in the time of Al-Kindi, we can say is the beginning of philosophy in Islam. Actually, the beginning of philosophy in Islam starts with translation. We don't have so great philosopher. Just they translated text from Hebrew or Syrian or some other languages to Arabic. So we call this time the time of transmission or translation. Then in the time of Farabi, we can say it was the beginning, or we can say the construction of Islamic philosophy. So Farabi has a very important role in Islamic philosophy. This is the reason that we call Farabi Muallim Sani, the second teacher. All the times when Ibn Sina wants to talk about Farabi, he says, Al-Muallim al-Awwal, Aristotle is Muallim al-Awwal. Aristotle is first Muallim. And Farabi is second Muallim. So for Ibn Sina, Farabi is second Muallim. So first Muallim is Aristotle, second Muallim is Al-Farabi. So we can say the construction and the basis of philosophy is on the shoulder of Al-Farabi. And Ibn Sina is the peak of the philosophy in Islam. And after Ibn Sina, we have some other divisions and some other branches. So until the time of Ibn Sina, philosophy in Islam reached the highest level in Islam. And after Ibn Sina, we have other branches that we call Masha'in, Ishraqiyin, and Hikmah Muta'aliyah, and also mysticism, Irfan, and other branches. So these three names are very important in historical development of philosophy. Then there are some influential resources and sources on Islamic philosophy. You can see, and also there is a diagram that you can see the influential sources. And also there are some Islamic philosophy through the history, how it works through the history from the time of Khulafa until modern time. So you have, you can find some information here. Now we go to the topics and categorization of philosophy in Islam, which is also important. Haji Ali can continue.
Topics and categorization. Page 4.
Topic and categorization. Although Islamic philosophy is religiously oriented, it has not ignored any major philosophical issue. For example, it has extensively discussed the problem of being and defended its position on issues like time, space, matter, and life. The treatment of epistemology is very unique and comprehensive. It drew a distinction between the self and reason, and required qualities, accuracy and errors, summers and certain knowledge. It has broadly discussed the conflict between reason and revelation, as one of its central issues. Many of the early philosophical debate centered about concealing religion and reason, which is mostly exemplified and developed by Greek philosophy. In one categorization, Muslim thinking is divided philosophy into two generally accepted categories of speculative philosophy and practical philosophy, and our discussion extended over varied topics such as natural philosophy, mathematics, metaphysics, ethics, and politics.
Good. As I explained before, that if you go to the topics and categorization of philosophy, you will find a variety of topics talking about human being, nafs, talking about God, creator, and talking about cosmos and the universe. But in one categorization, we can divide and categorize philosophy in two parts, al-hikmat al-nazariyya and al-hikmat